Everybody. It is Karandrin role playing. We've made it. It's episode 43 of Brise's Tale. I'm Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Crack Palantir. I'll be your host and game master for the night. And as always, playing Brise, the paladin of beauty, charm, and poor decision making, is my good buddy Max. Say hello to the nice people, Max.
Hello, everybody. Poor decision making. That's my part, Kevin. That's how I project onto the characters in the poor decisions. But yeah, welcome everybody to episode. What was it 40, 43? Yeah,
Yeah,
very
43.
exciting episode we have in store for you today.
Yes, if I can't say if it goes according to plan because this is a sandbox style. There is nothing planned, and so yeah, so it's gonna be very interesting. So to recap where we were last time, we are essentially going to talk to Aldrich, Brise's love interest, the man she's courting. We're going to talk to him about the fact that Brise is about to take an enormous risk tomorrow, and just sort of be very upfront with him and talk to him about that, and then hopefully we can play through. And the plan will be set for Brise to attempt to teleport to the volcanic prison holding the great demon Kralum, whose imprisonment was arranged by an ancient sorceress queen who is now free herself and drawing enormous amounts of power from her demonic prisoner. And Brise and her companions, which are all NPCs, are attempting to free the demon, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but if the demon is freed, his own abhorrent nature will hurl him back to his own realm, and Verlag will be left powerless, be thrown back to her prison, and Brise and the rest of the world will be safe. Is that about it, Max? Am I missing anything?
That is a pretty good summary. We know about there are some splinter cells such as Tegriv, who is a member of our posse, who is possibly planning to turn against us in favor of seeking power or teaching from Verilag herself. But that's a pretty good summary.
Right. I should probably do a caption for Tegriv. As you can see it with this caption here below. Whee, right there. And that's one of the great things about Restream. I'll give them a little bit of a plug there. That they have a cool caption function you see down below, and we use that quite a bit.
And we're paying them to say that.
That's right. We give away, jokingly, we give away Karandrin points. So I'll give 1,000 Karandrin points to anyone who can get Restream to sponsor us. That'll be great. We'll get better hardware and software and medical assistance.
Better wares.
Better wares. I know. There's been a lot of fan mail about my lack of fashion, and I don't appreciate it. Honestly, I don't. That's not what we're here for.
Okay, I'll stop sending you letters, Kevin.
You motherfucker. So yeah, it is episode 43. It is the big attempt to teleport to Kralum's prison, hoping that Verilag's defenses will not read you as a stranger, but will mistake you for Verilag herself because you have this connection that is, it's more than a handshake. So Aldrich is coming over for dinner, is actually in a parlor there with you. It is a little past sunset. Um, and so let's he walks into the room, escorted by a servant. Um, and roll for me.
24.
Don't need a high roll to see that he has seen something on your face.
As always.
And he begins speaking. You silence him with a finger and have the goblin leave. You tell her no one is to enter without knocking.
Damn straight.
And for any new viewers, this is because we know this household in Lady Mugral's keep, where they are presently headquartered. We know that the household is being spied upon by Lady Mugral to make sure that Brise and her companions are doing her bidding and not anyone else's. So she leaves. Aldrich watches her leave. Roll for me.
1.
All right.
Okay, I do not
roll
see the poison
again.
dart.
Roll again for me.
Yeah. 58.
So you begin to tear up. He closes the distance. He sort of embrace. Roll again.
52.
You feel like you need to. I mean, of course, there's a part of you that wants to just let go, that wants just to bawl and say, look, this is a really big deal. This is really going to affect both of us. But you fear that it's unfair to put that pressure on him.
Yeah.
In the midst of him, you asking him for his blessing, basically, to do this, which you essentially have, but now that it's real,
time decided,
you really want to put it to him and so on. So, so roll to restrain yourself.
Let's see if I can keep myself prim and proper. 89.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you pull yourself together. You sort of, pull away from him so you can look at him.
At the eyes.
That's right. And what do you want to say? I mean, he's obviously looking at you, extremely concerned.
I just start off saying that the date has been decided for tomorrow, when we're going to try. I can't remember how I described it. We're going to try the. We're going to make our move.
Yeah.
I'm going to put myself at risk to see if we can ensure the success of this entire mission.
He says, you're shaking, and you realize you are really terrified about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
A lot more than you realized.
Yeah.
And it's a weird moment of anger for you. You feel like this sort of this intimacy has left you kind of exposed, right? And you sort of, you gird yourself up and rein in your emotions. You actually kind of pull away from him. Um, and he closes that distance, um, and he guides you down to the couch, and he tells you, like, you can still change your mind. You don't have to do this. You don't owe any of these people anything. I could quit my job and we could just go.
I how would I say it in character? Um, and so I wish I could, control my own emotions. I know I have to do this, no matter how fearful it seems. Um, and
I know your faith is important to you, but let the wise ones of our faith deal with these matters. Why is everything on your shoulders? Surely there are people older, more experienced, um, that could do this. You deserve just to be happy, um, with me.
mm, I mean, I just tell him that I knew from the moment I chose an adventuring life that um, happiness wasn't going to be that simple. Um,
I promised I would support you. I know I promised I would support you. And I don't want to make this any harder. But can you at least do me the courtesy of telling me what this is about?
I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about that. Do I?
Roll. Let's see what you.
Yeah, because it could go either way. I feel like for my character, if I
Right.
really do, if he really does want to know, and I really do trust him. Also, Quinn, I have tried mustaches before. They're not my favorite. I had one last week. I thought 100. Okay. Apparently,
Um,
talking about mustaches is my.
well, the old double aunt. Um, um, you know that telling him anything, basically puts the world and all your friends in danger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
How do I word that then?
is it um, is it fair to say that you're basically stopping a great evil?
Um, I guess. See, my concern is trying to, yeah, that's budging a little bit, and then I don't know if that would make him even more upset. The idea that now he knows the scope of things. Um,
Yeah, but it wouldn't endanger him particularly.
no, it wouldn't. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess it could be good. Also, like to just sway him, to comfort him. That this thing isn't just for anything. It is vastly important. Um, So I tell him that, to tell you any details would be to endanger, countless people. But what I'm doing is um, going to be stopping a great evil from wreaking havoc on this world.
It's clear it's just not information he can process.
Mm.
Um, Not at least at first. He is um, he's just overwhelmed, with the fact that you would, state it in such grand terms. Um, uh, so, he's, sort of staring into the fire. You're sort of gripping hands together, and
Is there anything else I can say to try to help him understand? I don't know if there's like a story or an analogy I could like bring up, something like that. Are there any like a common like folk story about like heroes or something? That.
Yeah, I mean, there would be many shared stories in which the gods, any one of the gods, wrestled with a great evil. Of one that was. Remember, a long time back, you found those silver platters and various other servingware from the temple.
Yeah.
And it was a temple of Lewin, which is the local pantheon's um, uh, uh, it's their goddess of hearth, home, and children.
Right.
And one of those was a depiction of the story of Lewin and the serpent, where she has to confront the serpent to free the children in its belly.
Yeah, I remember.
And so that's um, Quinn. We appreciate your recasting of Brise's explanation.
I screwed up.
Yeah, I particularly like the blame aspect of it. I think that's interesting. That's probably something we haven't explored. I'm sure Max has felt it, but we haven't really explored it for Brise. Probably enough. Like, to what extent,
Yeah, that
feel
like the
guilt.
guilt kind of that weighing over her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I bring up that story, like this, like the story of Lewin. Who else can? Well, not who else, but it's me taking that role of
right.
a heroic deed.
He says, I know I told you I'd support you. I know I did. I just didn't expect it to be so soon. Um, um, and wow, holy shit. You can't go. You can't. I can't let you go. You can't go. Let someone else do this. You can't go.
I tell him. I mean, I would get a little bit angry, I guess. I'm like, well, I told you I must. Like, I'm the only one who can do this. And I don't know. Do I want to call him out? Like, he is being kind of selfish,
Well, I suppose in the way that
I mean,
all
because
lovers
I'm looking for his support, and he's kind of just doing the opposite instead, trying to.
and pulling support once given.
Right. So I mean, I'll just say this: I came to you, for your blessing to help me, calm my nerves, and I've told you that I must do this.
Roll for me.
82.
He stands and shouts down at you.
Oh my gosh.
You could die. You could die. You, of course, are panicked at him yelling
Yeah.
in a house full of spies. And you can't help but check around, right? In the room. Is
Sure.
anyone here? Right. And that makes him even angrier. He's like, who cares who's listening? They should all listen. They should all know that this is madness.
I'll try to calm him down.
He backs off as you approach. Wow.
It's supposed to be a nice dinner, and then there's
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, going south. You'll never be anything but a lowly tailor. Start like insulting you and your sister.
And now Quinn is wanting you to handle the problem like a good family girl.
I cast sleep.
Right. The door, there's a rapid knock and the door opens and it's one of the goblin servants. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? And a wand appears at the edge of the door. There is a glimmer from it. She collapses into sleep, seeing your shocked face. Aldrich, whose back is to the door, whirls. And in steps Doshrik, stepping over the body.
Wow.
He mutters a spell. Aldrich's voice falls silent. Aldrich is panicked, looking both back at you and at this strange bird figure. For those of you who forget, Doshrik is an otherworlder, and he is his species is bird-like. Although what they tell people is that he's a magician who had something go terribly awry. Doshrik steps in, closes the door, and he mutters another spell, and Aldrich collapses to the floor.
No. I have to stand up at that. What are you doing?
We have precious few minutes now. I am sorry. The whole household is alarmed. News will make it to Meagrol and to the guards.
I mean, I just tell him, well, it's just a row between us.
Row. Row.
Oh, that's right. Row between us. We were just rowing on the lake.
Him crying who could let you die is more than a row. You must follow me. And he reaches for your hand and grabs your hand.
Okay, I guess I'm going. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. No, this is terrible. Oh no. Oh, if I make it back, he's gonna be so mad at me. Jesus.
Um,
I mean,
you rush that he rushes you downstairs. Burnlow, who, if anyone's forgotten, that's the butler of the house and close ally of this group. Burnlow, has obviously been alarmed at the shouting and goes and falls in behind you. Doshrik yells at Burnlow to grab all of your possessions from the room and to bring them immediately to the front door.
I can grab my own stuff, thank you.
There is no time.
Mm,
Look, you can fight back. You're a physical being.
I mean, at that point, because my character is just someone who doesn't like being told what to do.
So what are you gonna do?
So I'm gonna try to. I'm like, I will bring my own stuff, and I'll be quick, and I'll try to break from his grasp.
His fingers are not very strong. It seems to be an inherent part of their species that as they taper to feathers, of course, they just don't get very strong. So you tear free very very easily, and you say, unhand me, I can get my own stuff.
Yeah.
We're well past what you want. And he raises his wand.
Oh,
and now roll for initiative.
Okay. Oh,
And this doesn't mean combat. This means literally.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Literally, simply who gets to act first.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say, Karen texted me and says comments are turned off right now, or Quinn's commenting, but I think there might be an issue with being able to leave. Yeah. Sorry to break from the action there, but I just.
Wow. Yeah, sorry, everyone. We have a little bit of a technical issue.
Yeah.
I've got chat overlay. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sending messages, so.
Right. Why would anyone not be able to?
Yeah.
He's on YouTube. Chat's watching. Chat's watching. Quinn is watching on YouTube.
Let me check the Twitch stream real quick.
Yeah, I don't see any problem there. Oh, Obi-Wan. What's interesting too is on my end, I see that we have no viewers. Isn't that weird? When we clearly do. Maybe it grades them by quality, huh? Huh? Quinn?
All right. I mean, I can see the Twitch is up as well. And I can't comment because I'm not logged in, but hopefully it'll resolve itself. I don't know if someone's having a problem commenting. It's probably their own.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Obi-Wan. We certainly want you part of the stream. We just can't. We can't resolve that right now.
Yeah.
Um,
But okay.
so let's have you roll for initiative.
Yeah. Okay, that's 28.
Yeah. He's one quick bird. Murmurs a spell. Roll to resist the effects of the spell.
84.
Well, that may. You feel a calming sensation pass over you. Your body shrugs it off. But in that moment, you realize he's right. You see Gwen's comment.
The boondoggle of a dumpster fire.
Wait, Quinn, are you referring to my life? I think that's what you're referring to. Oh, hey, we go.
Boondoggle is my favorite Karandrin spell. So okay, so I mean, I'm fine. I mean, I'm very unhappy, and I mean, I'm going to be extremely terse with him. But I'll say, okay, fine, and I, continue to follow him. But I don't want him to grab my hand. I'll follow you. She's.
There's a moment. Oh, I was really shocked that there's rolled a 19 for how many people are watching. So maybe they're all reporting. He glances around and he says, I'm going to make you appear to be a goblin. We have to get you out of here.
Okay.
You'll need to walk in a stooped manner. You're much too tall to really pull off this illusion. When you're sitting, it'll be easier. And he casts a spell. There's nothing, you can see that your hands have definitely changed. Yeah, you are definitely, you definitely have claws now. A little.
I just feel worse generally.
That's right.
Wow. Okay.
And
now I feel bad because he's spending his magical energy to just like get me out of here when he probably needs it for later.
He says, we have to get the horses. And outside he goes, he calls for your horse and his horse. They and I mean, he's not nice about it. He's like, now go, and
wow. What a crazy turn of event. I'm like on the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
He turns at you and he winks, and then he shouts, surely we can find an herb that will cure him. Surely we can. And he begins running after the stableman, going for the horses. and gestures for you to follow. Um,
Yeah, I'll waddle around and stooped, trying to best I can.
um, huh. He just grabs onto a passing goblin and says, "Your cloak. Surely you can see she's cold. Your cloak," and just takes the cloak off this guy.
Yeah.
And it's a hooded cloak and throws it over you. It's too short for you, obviously, even in your stooped form. And puts it around you. And weak or not, his fingers are very nimble, and they feel kind of lovely on your neck. These sort of feathered fingers. And he does it up and buttons it, and then roughly puts the hood on you, and you're fixing
Right.
it and everything.
Mhm.
The horses are coming out of the stable. He waves them on, urges them on. And then you guys grab them, run back. Things are being brought downstairs. Um, um, he murmurs another spell, and this portal opens. And he takes your stuff and throws it in there.
What? Dodrick! I mean, where is this going?
Um, he whispers very harshly, "With us."
Okay.
And the portal closes, and he gestures for you to mount your horse. He springs crazy lightly onto his. I mean, like just right onto it. You're like, wow, I bet he can fly. and he's not a great horseman.
Good, nor am I.
And right, so he leaves. So he rides at quite a pace, just trying to avoid hitting people, which he almost manages to do. And toward the gate he goes.
Yeah, I'll follow him. He's not giving me an opportunity to ask any questions.
So
Brise is so miffed right now because it's just she hates this sort of stuff. It's like things
yeah.
have to like go her way or else, and it's just like, what's going on? Gotta, man, this is gonna be a hard spell to cast. I wouldn't be surprised if I have like a huge penalty just for being
Well,
pushed so much.
this is going to be hard role playing for you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to, I mean, obviously he's trying to help, whether rightly or wrongly, but that doesn't affect how you feel.
Right, absolutely. I'm still thinking about Aldrich too. I don't even know if he's going to be okay. I'm assuming he just cast a sleep spell.
Right.
I don't know enough.
It's one of those sleep spells that has a side effect of giving him 4 eyes and 6
yeah,
tentacles.
He might have cancer now.
There are guards now running toward your house, toward your, the big quarters that you occupy in the keep. They clearly are torn about stopping you both.
Right.
Doshrik is continuing to shout about there's no time, we must fetch an herb.
Yeah.
And shouts it directly at the guards that sort of seem to step in the way, like they want to be ready to make the decision when they're ready to make the decision.
Right.
And so no one stops you. You make it through the outer gate Let's have you make some riding rolls, which, you know,
Do have my saddle of sure-footedness, something like that. What is that? Plus something. Make sure we count.
yeah, I've got it here.
Okay. Yeah. There's a 75
Okay, and give me one more.
and an 18.
So they're through the gate. You slow a lot more than he does.
Mm.
Just as he was able to do it, weave it a little more skillfully than you, and you had to slow or risk, colliding with guards or walls. So roll one more time, and we'll see if you can catch up.
29.
So he has had to slow considerably to let you catch up. You're at little more than a canter now. You catch up to him.
I just say, let's not break our necks in getting there, okay?
Well, I mean, now is an opportunity to intervene. Actually, not more than just quip, right?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if now that we're out of the keep, it's like, tell me where we're going and what the plan is. This is ridiculous.
He says, we are going to ride as far as we can, and you tell me until you can tell me where we can pick you up tomorrow. Do you have our inns? You need to pick an inn right now and tell me where you'll be.
Oh, so he just wants me to be out of the keep. Okay.
If we don't come and find you by noon tomorrow, then I don't know what to tell you.
I'll tell him I will be there at the I mean, the Eternal Lantern's the only one I know. Honestly, I mean, just the Eternal Lantern, the one we first came to. You can meet me there in the afternoon.
Stay there tonight. Do not leave for any circumstances. You guys are sort of riding at a canter beside each other now. You and he both recognize that this is not a conversation you guys have the skills to do at a gallop.
Yeah.
He says, the plan was to leave in the early afternoon, but I'm going to return with this alleged herb to wake Aldrich. And you're like, is he okay? Is he okay?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's a very powerful sleep spell. Okay. One in which even the impact with the floor will not wake him. But we may all be arrested tomorrow, in which case our short-lived alliance will be at an end, and there'll be hard questions put to us all. I would tell you, and I think Adabir would agree, that if we don't see you by early afternoon tomorrow to pick you up, then you should flee the country. Quinn, I thought you were already writing that spell. That's really funny. That's really funny.
Penises. Why not large penises? Come on. I mean, I have to laugh. It's like, you are all powerful wizards. Is there not some way you could disguise yourselves out of the wilderness or hide out for that long?
We're not ready to leave.
Okay.
There's much paraphernalia to gather. And while that's being arranged, and you process, oh yeah, that the wagon is actually out there. We ran by the wagon
Oh, I see. Yeah.
that they're loading. You remember they were fixing a bed into a carriage
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
because Adabir is so frail to travel that way. Um,
Gosh. Wow.
yeah, I rolled a 200 something for Aldrif's reversal.
Oh, wow.
He just really, I mean, I guess to put it a little cruelly, he sort of chickened out. Like faced with it, he just could not face you risking your life.
Right. Or like the first time he was really just being reassuring and then didn't realize it was so soon.
Right.
Oh my God. Wow.
Um,
Wow. I mean, I would tell Dostrick, just please tell him that I'm sorry and that I will see him again as soon as I can.
Dostrick looks at you with these large Aben eyes. And he says, I will say those very words to him. And you are just profoundly struck by the depths of compassion that reside in him.
Wow.
That was a double ought, by the way.
Wow.
So it's one of your sort of insights into people,
Yeah.
kind of moments where you're like, and you sort of, I think there's no question now that you trust Dostrick now, and just implicitly.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. He was just moved enough. Yeah. To be truthful. Yeah.
So
let me just write this down.
Yeah. So yeah, well there you go. So Aldra freaks out. The plan is still a go, even if it is in jeopardy.
Okay. All right. Then yeah. Then is there anything else I need to ask him really quick, or just start galloping down?
He pulls you over.
Okay.
Opens up. You guys sort of find a quiet space out of sight.
I guess it's early evening, so there's still sunlight, right? I keep imagining being dark and rainy for some reason.
It is dark. It's after sunset.
Okay, it is after sunset.
I guess we have to assume he probably would produce some. I mean, once he passed the gates, he probably cast some sort of light spell, and you could follow that. So pulls you aside. He casts light on the. How could he do this helpfully? Because it's going to last quite a while.
I have some magic items, but he threw them in a portal, so I don't have them now.
Well, that's okay, because this is why he's pulled over.
Right.
This is actually a spell called Magic Valise, and it opens and he pulls from it all of your gear.
Oh, goodness.
Just reaches into the air, this shimmering circle, and just pulls out things, all of your stuff.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And he he helps you load it as best you can.
Bags and stuff.
Some stuff you're just having to like pile in your lap. So,
Whew.
um, I guess he's going to have to cast a light spell on your horse because I don't think you can even. You're going to have to hold stuff and ride down a mountain at night.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I can't figure out another way for him to have thought this through, and this is not going to be a perfect plan by any stretch.
No, yeah.
Um,
I mean, I can also cast it myself. I offer, and I'll also can calm my horse too.
I think he's not looking for advice. You know what I mean? So he's just
okay.
So the thing is, if he casts it and places it on an object of yours, you will not be able to turn the light off. You'll actually have to. You won't have.
Right, and why I offer, I will cast it. So.
But you don't know what he's debating. You see what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, he's debating in his head. Okay.
Right, and so I'm just trying to. I'm trying to reason through what he would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where he would. I don't know what he would do. It's almost. It's most of an hour to town going down the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, yeah, okay. I'll let him.
Yeah.
Just because I'm going to cast in Bolden Steed anyway, so I don't know if he would just see me cast and be like, you can cast.
That's true. He's pulling stuff out. You cast a spell. He says you'll need a source of light. Your hands will be busy. So you cast. So cast. Let's do Emboldened Steed. Let's have you roll for that.
Okay. 14. Okay. You are close.
Yes. So then you cast light. If you cast light on the reins of the horse, then you'll have
the 56 to cast.
So all right, no problem.
Gotcha.
So of course you can end it at any time. It should last by the time you get into town. So he nods and loads you up. He says, you must make your own decision about when to flee tomorrow. There may be no need, but I would not leave your room appearing as you are. This illusion will. I should probably cancel it now.
Yeah, honestly, because I'll go there and probably dissipate either when I'm in town or once I'm in my room.
So he cancels it. And then he says, keep the cloak over your head. Pull back your hair. Do everything you can to avoid being recognized.
Yeah.
He stops several times as you guys are doing all this stuff, listening for sounds of pursuit, and hears none. He does this curious, sort of very alien gesture where he takes his two fingers and he strokes you under your chin twice, very affectionately.
Yeah.
And he says, I hope to see you tomorrow. Good luck.
I'll give a begrudging thank you. I hope so too.
He goes to tree with some climbing vine. He plucks off a handful of leaves. He gets back on his horse, listens again and watches the road, and then pulls back on and heads back up to the keep.
You know, it's funny if Brise was in his shoes, she'd probably do the same exact thing. Just like, we're just gonna do this now.
Right.
So I can kind of empathize.
The shoes on the other talon, and
Yes. Yeah,
it's
he probably doesn't wear shoes, does he? He wears 3 shoes, like 1 on each talon.
That's right. That's right. It's
Can't remember how bird work.
how
How bird work.
that's right. Or English for that matter. Or English.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's take off towards town.
I think it's an interesting moment for a break. What do you think?
I think so too.
For almost an hour. Guys, the craziness will continue in a few moments. Um, um, and we're going to grab some drink. We hope you guys will just bear with us for a few minutes. We'll be back for part 2 of episode 43 of Brise's Tale. And we're going to see what shakes out with this new development. So just give us a few minutes and hang out with us, and we'll be right back.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh my.
Oh, we're tiny.
I swear, Restream sometimes is maddening. Just
They paid
randomly.
us to say that.
That's right. That's right. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. I hope you got some delicious beverages. And yeah, so we've got a situation. So Aldrich really reversed his support of the decision for Brise to risk her life for whatever mysterious reasons, whatever mysterious project that his woman is attempting, and alarmed the whole household. And now Doshrik, one of the apprentices involved in this project, has taken it on himself to get Brise out of the keep before they shut the keep down, trying to figure out why Aldrich was yelling about Brise risking her life.
Yeah.
Um,
To be fair, I have been a little selfish in this relationship, I think. It's like he basically moved his entire life to this place, and now I'm probably gonna die. Risk my life for this thing. It's like
this is true. I should,
that is
I should put there. So here's Aldrich, just so we have a reminder up. So, um, so this is um, this is crazy interesting. So you are making your way to
the Eternal Lantern.
the Eternal Lantern. Why don't you roll for me for navigation?
All right, 66.
Takes you a little bit. You get there.
So before I step inside, I have all these potions of face change. I mean, I know I have multiple ones, so I could take one when I go in, one when I go out.
Yes.
If I really just want to be secure.
Really, it would be doing it probably as you enter town.
Yes. So, because it'll last few minutes, right? That's long enough. Several minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
4 of them. So I would, while I'm coming into town, let me take one and.
Obi-Wan joined us. That's great.
Hey,
Hi,
welcome.
Obi-Wan. Hope you're feeling better. Heard you had some health issues. We hope those are getting straightened out.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my gosh, Gwen. But Gwen vacillates between like really like reassuring and then like really like you're probably screwed.
I think he's vacillating between wishing death on you, wishing death on Doshrik and Aldrich.
Seems that way.
So,
okay, so I'm gonna take a face change potion, and so I mean I'll just try to do like a goblin face like before, just make sure my hands are hidden in gloves and kind of pretending to be hunched over a bit.
I mean, you could choose just to be a human male, or I mean,
Yeah, actually that'll probably be better, right? Yeah, that's some more of my physique.
right.
To change. So yeah, we'll just change to probably female because my boobies, and so
You have a very strong image that leaps to mind. I mean, I rolled for the possibility, and it was like well over 100.
yeah.
Of do you remember the fortune telling woman back in Convergence? Who
No, but you do.
I do. It was it.
Telling.
She would tell fortunes and sell cures and things like this, and it's sort of your first real contact with really deep
Yeah,
poverty.
yeah.
And it kind of
She was kind of a sham.
yeah, but you realize this is all she's got.
Right.
And so you sort of it really you sort of backed off of your anger and sort of felt a great deal of compassion and paid more for the service than was asked and things like that. And so that's when it pops in your mind. If you don't think it's fit for purpose, then you can make another decision.
That's perfect. Yeah, kind of a more older, less attractive.
All right, roll. Well, it doesn't really matter. Let's just because it doesn't matter if you get it perfectly right. So there's no real need for you to roll. I will roll just how how good the effect is, and Um, you're pretty satisfied. It's not as close as you wanted. You couldn't hold the thought of it in your head as you drank the potion. This is your first time changing face with a potion.
Yes.
We'll mark that for experience points that we still have to do, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say I don't want to metagame or anything, but I mean if I gain a level or two from experience and that'll improve my rolls, like does that I mean
It
should
is
we be
one of
adding +5 to anything I roll, you know?
it is one of the difficulties of us not staying on top of experience, and we just have to sort of accept the consequences.
Okay.
You know, I don't know of a way to fix that
Right.
essentially, and if I could, I would.
Right.
So
Okay. I'm assuming that I'm sure that situation won't come about, but if it does, I will not be peeved if it does.
right.
I'll accept it. But yeah, so first potion of face change, change to the fortune teller.
So yeah, you ride through town. You feel like the potion lasts more than enough.
Okay.
So you make it to the Eternal Lantern, and you you have checked repeatedly. You don't feel like you're being followed. Um, you walk in, you show your sort of membership badge, right? That's how it works. Is that right?
No, that's isn't that the Adventurers
Oh,
Guild?
that's the Adventurers Guild.
The
Forgive
Eternal
me.
Lantern is just an inn, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got. Do you have a room, or do you need to buy a room?
Wait, I'm sorry. Once I distracted myself with some of my notes. Meals are free. Overnight stay is free, and that must be wrong.
That must be the Adventuring Guild.
Yeah, I might have mixed them up because I have the Adventuring Guild is 1 bronze a meal and 1 silver piece a night. So let me switch those around. Sorry, what was the question you asked?
Do you already have a room? I know you had at one point a room here for a while.
Yeah, it was only for a few days though. It's definitely been like a week or two.
Okay, no problem.
I'm gonna buy a new one. Well, it wouldn't matter because I'm disguised, right? Anyway. Oh, but I guess I just walk up to that room and just.
Yeah, you've got the key.
Yeah.
And they haven't rented it out to anybody else, although obviously sometimes they do.
See what you mean? No, but yeah, I'll definitely get a new room.
All right, so.
Just my exaggerated like crone voice. I need a room.
Exactly. Roll for me.
79.
Okay. Aldrit's spy is watching the door. The spy who was in charge of following you.
Yes. From where? Like
She is she has apparently been waiting for you here.
Oh wow. So I tie up my horse and walk inside, and she's just there. Okay.
Yeah. There are no drinks on her table. A drink is brought to her, so she's only been there a few minutes, presumably. She looks at you dead in the face and then looks away and continues to watch the door.
Is there a meaning in that look, or
no? She's looking at a different person, so she didn't recognize you.
Okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure.
And your gear is all over the place, and she's just she discounted you.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Wow. I'm gonna write that down. It's interesting.
now the question is, do you make contact or not?
I don't. Is there a benefit to do that? I mean, I guess I can get some info out of her about what's happening.
Right.
No, I don't think so, because if she sees any like benefit to ratting me out, then
Well, she's not going to rat you. Presumably, she's not going to rat you out to Mia. She's going to rat you out to Algret,
exactly.
and that'll take a couple of days to have an effect.
Well, right, but
No, it's fine. I just,
yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
It really caught me off guard that she's there. I'm like, is there a reason? I was thinking I'm supposed to talk to her, but it's just she's there for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Then I will just proceed about my business.
Now, what's
like she's a stranger.
What's funny is you could leave her a note.
Oh, true.
But depends on how much. I mean, there's every chance though that whoever you give the note to pass it to her can be bribed to say, "Oh yeah, it was the woman in room such and such."
Right, this person. So, if I think of anything that I really need from her, I could
try
to find a way to get out of her. But
okay.
Okay.
So get your room. You carry all your gear inside. Horse is being stabled, and you go to your room like a good girl.
Yes, and I will. I guess just stay put. I'll have some dinner, I guess, before I go, or have it brought up to my room.
Sure, just have them bring you. You're like just bread and cheese and beer, and I'll be good.
Yeah.
And so,
man, I really want some bread, cheese, and beer right now. Wish I'd gotten some during the break.
I ate an orange like you wouldn't believe. Wow, like I mean so fast during the break. So, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, yeah, just have dinner and then head back up, and yeah.
So now
alone, I'll just process, what's kind of happening, and just prepare myself for the inevitable tomorrow.
Right.
And pray probably that things work out okay. I do not want, this is one chance,
Yeah.
I don't want to be squandered.
Yeah, this has gotten pretty interesting. Is there anything you really want to accomplish between now and your character falling asleep?
I don't think so. Not really.
Okay. You are able to get some reading done. You are able to shake yourself out of your fugue and get some reading done.
Okay.
What do you want to read?
My tome. Sure.
All right. So roll and see how much reading you get done.
28.
All right. We'll call that a half hour on and off. So the we're going to say that you've left a false name that would sort of have to be required.
Sure.
And that you've agreed to with Doshrik.
Yeah, that's fair. What's Brise backwards?
Esserb.
Yeah, Esserb. That's not good. That won't do. I had a character in my D&D campaign named Artemis, and like whenever he would disguise, he just joked it's Symmetra, which is Artemis backwards. But
That's
actually, it's a pretty cool like fantasy name,
right.
Symmetra. So.
Right. I had a friend who would use one of his names backwards. And so it was often wizard characters that my friend would play, and he would use Nalkurtz, and that was
No, Kurtz. Yeah.
he technically cheated and dropped the last D of his name.
Okay.
But it was a good name. It has a good sound to it. So you're waiting, you're reading, just trying to relax and try to prepare yourself mentally for tomorrow.
Mhm.
And a note gets slid under your door.
Okay.
And it's a note, and it says it's oh, do you want to keep your actually probably by now you only have a few minutes left of your face change potion.
Yeah.
So the sense is it lasts well over an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I would just oh, really? Well over an hour, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep it I mean, it's not bothering me, right? So I would just keep it as long as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
The note, though, says, "It's Batherin. I'm to stay with you tonight."
Okay.
And so essentially she's out in the commons room
Yeah.
waiting on you. I guess you just walk up to her. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm a little confused, so it's stay with me tonight. Okay. Yeah, okay. But I mean
So yeah, so you're in case apparently they've sent backup for you. They've sent support.
right.
And Doshrik is probably answering questions.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I'll go into the common room and yeah.
Just fetch her.
Yeah, yeah. Even with my changed face, I'm sure she can just communicate in some way.
Well, yeah, you can just go up and talk. I mean, you can just go and say, "Hey, it's me. I'm in disguise."
Right, right.
And no sign of the spy.
Okay.
So you approach. She's watching you as you approach. You can tell that there's a note of like maybe this is what's going on to her, right? She's kind of sussing out this is the only person who could be approaching me.
Right.
You say it's me. She nods and she shakes your hand like very firmly, and you're like, and she slaps you on the back, and then she gestures you back the way you came, and acting just very cool, very nonchalant. She picks her drink up from the table, and she's got a backpack of stuff.
How old is she again? Is she like a middle-aged?
As I recall, she's not particularly old or young. I clicked on the wrong program.
Just middle-aged goblin woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me find her. I like that name, Batherin. I like that name. It's got a good sound to it. Says the creator of the name. Young, average height and weight.
Okay. It's hard for me to imagine goblins as young sometimes, like youth.
Sure.
In them, but okay.
She has short gray hair, but it's very wispy. She keeps it very short, but gray doesn't really indicate age necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she walks with you to the back to your room. You guys shut the door and lock the door. She casts a spell on the door. She takes the chair. She gestures for you to sit down and sit on the bed. and she tells you that as far as by the time as of her leaving, the um, the plan was still on.
Okay.
They're going to try to move ahead with leaving um, um, first thing in the morning, um, and we're gonna meet them. Doshrik was questioned. Um, the One of the bigger security guys of the castle came down to find out what was going on.
Yeah.
Aldrith um, is still underneath his magical sleep spell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, and he's going to be cured later tonight. Um, and and it seems that while it's not appreciated that you two caused a great fight and a great concern throughout the castle, it's understood that that what he was actually saying was that he was dying, and it must have been something he ate, and he was just crying out in pain, and it felt like he was dying. But they seem to believe
Okay.
that um, that everything's okay. Um, but so um,
At this point, I just want to give you know, a general lamentation, just that it's terrible that it turned out this way. I, never would have known he would have reacted that way. We had a talk earlier, and it didn't seem like he would be upset as he was.
you humans are all of a weak breed. She, quips, and she, pats you just so condescendingly on the shoulder. Um, she says, my little keeper from the keep, my spy, uh, followed me into town. Um, Although it's been known that we are going on a trip. The project is going on a trip. Um, Obviously, Mia Grawl is sending out spies to make sure that that's in her best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, but in the morning, I will teleport us to the spot directly from here. And then the we'll see what there is to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys sort of chat for on and off throughout the night. The rest of it is sort of spent pacing or dozing.
Mm-hmm.
She takes a position directly up against the door with her back to the door. She takes out that very plain looking rod that she uses. And you guys try to go to sleep. We're approaching the big moment, gang.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. So, roll to try to go to sleep.
12.
Yeah. Not really any sleep for you at all.
I mean, if I really need to, I have a potion of sleep.
Well, yeah, sure. If you think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. I want to be like well rested, and I know it's just my thoughts are probably too crazy. So,
all right. Remember now, when you use a potion, replace that potion with an empty vial.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want you to be, shortchanged,
Mhm.
or throw it away. I don't care. You don't have to have all the vials, but we know they're useful for some of
Turn
you.
him into a necklace. I'm gonna wear.
That's hilarious. You vile woman.
Ah!
So
Oh my god. That was pretty good. Yeah, so I'll just down a potion of sleep and be like, if I can't
yeah.
go to sleep, I'll try to force myself to sleep.
Um, Catherine, while older than you, her nerves are up as well. She is. Uh,
You just took the potion of sleep.
that's right. No kidding. I need it, Given. Oh. So, yeah. So, you pass out, and she takes the door. Roll again.
17.
No significant, no dreams that you remember. Roll one more time.
92.
All right. So,
I really like the idea, like using a potion of sleep on yourself. I don't know why. I mean, it's so true. Sleep is like, it can't be hard to come by. And it's,
right. And I, it's a sort of other thing I like about doing. We talked about Karandrin being organic. We talked about it being sandbox, but also about it being continuous.
Mhm.
And so when you do it day to day, I think it's interesting to see, I think it's interesting that I think it's significant that your day affects your night,
Yeah.
and that you have to process things. And there's sort of a sense of a life here that is intertwined and matters,
It brings about these decisions. Yeah.
right. And so I keep meaning I'm trying to put some content up on the website about that, about my reasons for doing that and so on. But so you wake mid-morning, you're like, well, fine. Batharin is dozing. She's apparently moved her chair in the night and moved it closer to the fire at some point, but facing the door. Her rod is sort of resting down by her side. She doesn't wake when you stir. Do you just want to get ready? Do you want to wake her? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna wake her first because make sure we're both ready at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm assuming. I mean, my disguise is worn off, right? So like, I can't leave the room. I want to make sure she's awake.
So she wakes peacefully. You're a little worried about, am I going to get a spell in the face? And the answer is no. She says, I wasn't sleeping. I was just testing you.
I'm sure you were.
And she says, you don't snore, by the way. I thought all human sounds were disgusting and constant, but it's nice to know there's a break every now and then. She looks at the sunlight coming in. She says, we have a little time. They're not likely to be there before noon.
Okay.
Assuming that everything is resting my eyes, Obi-Wan says, which is a line from the Arkin Bass. No, what is it? The Bass animated Hobbit movie, where Bilbo keeps, or Lord of the Rings movie, because Bilbo keeps nodding, falling asleep, and he goes, "I'm just resting my eyes." So she's like, "We have time to eat here, or if you wish, we can go immediately."
Yeah, let's eat. It'll bring get our strength and stuff. So says if she could fetch some food and bring it up here.
She stretches, shifts herself.
Quinn's coming.
Wow.
Ace attack to a shield. Become very angry. Enough twists. Okay, I've already had enough. There's
Thank you, Rankin and Bass. Thank you. I could not remember Quinn. It's the Rankin and Bass animated Lord of the Rings. There's some really good moments in that one. I haven't watched that. God, in 20 years I haven't watched those. I'd like to watch those again. So the oh yeah, that's got the great line in there too. They come through. This in the it's in the Hobbit. The Rankin and Bass Hobbit. They come through the Goblin Mountains, right? And they come on the other side, and it's like, oh my gosh, how did you escape the goblins? You know, Bilbo, how did you escape them? And he doesn't want to tell them about the ring.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I just hid and I disguised him, whatever lie he tells. And the line in there, and we joked about this for years, Gandalf goes, yes, that rings true.
Huh.
And I just, and we just joked, me and my brothers, we just joked all the time. It's like, yeah, but it has the ring of truth. The ringety ring, ringety ring, ringety ring of truth.
That rings a bell. Reminds me of
Exactly. And he just keeps going, oh man, we laugh
Shut up, Gandalf.
Secrets before dwarves, man. And so so she runs and just orders food and everything, and
my Grubhub.
Goblin Hub.
Finally.
And she just goes to town on her food. She's apparently particular about money. She's like, 2 copper.
Okay, 2 copper. Wow. Stingy even for a goblin.
That's right. You just say, I didn't even know goblins could count to 2. That's good. You guys eat, as always, it's, pretty well food for you. Let's see how you're feeling today in terms of emotionally. Won't be easy.
64.
Yeah. So you're okay, but you're sort of all over the place, but you're not at least a heat.
No one say anything to me. I'm on a delicate.
Exactly.
Go wrong. Yeah.
I don't want to go below 64.
Yeah.
You guys eat, gather your gear. She's like, are you willing to come with me?
I am. This is a really cool thing. I always like that. It's like it has to be verbal,
Well, they don't want to attempt it, right?
Right, but it creates this like social norm, that only exists in Karandrin. Yeah, because.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hallmark of Karandrin.
Yeah, I really want things consistent. That is to say, if you were silently willing to do it, the spell would still work because your magical defenses would be down in regard to her.
Right.
But they have to have a real. You could nod, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they want to ask and make sure, because as I have made it, magic is very dangerous, and just throwing away PowerPoints is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So boom, you teleport. It's clearly some sort of old, abandoned field or something. You're under a shade tree. Clearly, that's her marker, as well as a point of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
But she appears and she's ready to act. And so she looks around and she, nudges you to do the same. Roll for me.
1.
Well, you don't see anything.
Nice.
she says, let's see how alone we really are. And she concentrates for a long while, and she murmurs, and she lifts her rod. There's a brief flash from her hand. She concentrates for a moment. She curses, and she sort of guides you a little bit around the tree. And she's like, there are spies here.
Oh my gosh.
They watched us closer than we thought. Well, then, I'm not going to tell you where they are. I don't want you continually checking their hiding location. It's 2 goblins. They're hidden. The cover story was always going to be that we were going to do a ritual that was too dangerous to do in the keep.
Mm-hmm.
So, from the tree, she pulls out 2 just from behind, around the tree. She pulls out sort of 2 clearly like made poles. They're not sticks. They're poles with sharp points at the end. Maybe a little higher than your head. She says, we're going to begin just drawing symbols on the ground.
Okay.
In a big circle. I'm going to be shouting instructions to you. You just nod and ignore them. And
okay.
We're going to be appearing to draw a magic circle on the ground.
All right.
And so she goes and she starts drawing things and so on. You guys do quite a bit. Stop for a drink or 2. You clear some stones in the field and things like this. And eventually, the wagon and the coach appear. From a neighboring road. They and there are goblin guards with them on horseback.
Okay.
They the whole group rides across the field. Adabir gets out. He's not in a good mood. Doshrik gets out. And
Integra suddenly gets out too.
Exactly.
Oh, get out of here. No one wants you.
They set up a tent. They set a chair for Adabir at the edge of the circle. So they huddle up with you, and they basically say, we've got to cast all these enchantments now to protect you.
Right.
So they spend a long while doing that. Okay. They shout they give you instructions too, and they'll hand you a various item, and they're saying, what you're going to do is, take this belt. We're going to yell at you to walk over there and lift it up, and we want you to shout some magical nonsense, and then just throw it over your shoulder. We're going to do this with several items. Then we want you to go at the end, put on all the gear we've given you.
Okay.
And then you'll be ready to try to teleport.
All right.
And then we will hand wave and do things here until we see you emerge from the tent.
Emerge.
You're going to go into the tent. You're going to put on the gear.
Oh, right. In the tent. Sorry.
Then you're going to teleport from the tent out of sight from everyone.
Right. Okay.
Because you're just the assistant. You're just the helper, right? Your job is done. We're going to stay here and do nonsense. And then when you come back, stay in the tent. If you come back, stay in the tent for a bit.
Okay.
So that it gives us a chance to seem like we are actually working out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully we can proceed with the next stage. So
All
the
right.
guards have been all assigned positions, but clearly one is refusing and saying, no, my job is to protect Adabir from our enemies. And so he's clearly the one who's really in on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, this is one of the biggest moments that Brise's tale has ever come upon.
Yes.
This is Brise attempting to teleport to Kralem's volcanic prison. If the defenses read Brise as Verilag, then Brise should appear there safely and should be able then to transport anyone else there and begin working on a way to free Kralem from the prison. If Verilag's defenses do not read Brise as Verilag, then the defenses will capture or kill her. Well, yeah, Quinn, we all need a minute, and you better get your drum rolls ready because there's not a bigger one we've had so far. I think in all of Karandrin, even through Josh's stuff, I'm not sure we've had a bigger one.
Jeez. I have a potion of courage.
I mean, why not?
Honestly, I would down that. Yeah, just
okay. Transform it magically into an empty vial. That's the real magic. That's the only magic I have. Turning empty alcohol full glasses of alcohol into empty glasses of alcohol. I can do that very well.
Down a potion of courage with a shot of whiskey.
That's right. I thought that's 2 potions of courage, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's all a potion of courage is. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So
6 gold pieces for this.
I guess you're probably going to do like the big meditative, really concentrate, get that fumble down as low as you can.
Also, just memorize the space. Make sure I got that in my head too.
Yes. Yes. So don all your adventuring gear. Is that what you're going to do in addition to the items they've given you?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So one
I could have done. I would have done that. I probably would have done that in the morning at the inn.
Sure.
I had all my gear there, so we'll say I'm
right
geared up.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to have left things in the room at all, or do you want to teleport them all here?
I would have brought them all here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because all of your goods are here now, minus your horse, saddle, and reins.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in the stables at the inn.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Just make sure I have everything here.
Because you can't teleport them. I mean, you could teleport the horse, the saddle, and reins, but they store them in there for you.
Right. So, okay, just make sure I got everything here. I got to write that down.
Yeah. Brise concentrates, memorizes, gets to a point where she's really comfortable with it. You kind of arrange your things in an odd way, the things you're not taking with you in an odd way, so it's memorable.
Mm-hmm.
And the tent is a larger one. It's a 2-chamber tent, so that you can really have some privacy, though you still close that front flap. So, gang, this is it at quite an interesting time. So, gang, if you've got some delicious drum rolls to send out,
chicken drumsticks also accepted.
Exactly. That's right.
I'm scared if it's one I just rolled, and I'm getting a bad feeling about this.
Of course, we're going to remind you of your miracle roll. Is there any reason to use it now, or do you want to wait to use it?
I would have waited to use it. Yeah.
Okay.
See how the story.
It
needs to pee first.
Oh my lord.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my lord.
I don't think we can wait, Quinn. The audience is
He's 50% of the audience. Shouldn't we wait for 50% of the audience?
well, he's Quinn, so no, I don't think.
It's 100% of the negative audience. So
Yeah.
that's that's a whole different thing. Well, this is really insane. This is so as a player, Max, how do you feel?
I feel really nervous because this could be the end of Brise's tale right here, depending on how the rolls go.
Right.
And just whatever's going to happen next is going to be quite incredible,
Yeah.
So,
Your fumble after concentration is a 10.
yeah. Okay.
So
send a bunch of death symbols. Skull and crossbones. All right, thanks.
All right. So, well, that's if all the drum we're gonna get, I guess. You got to roll.
I don't need anybody's help.
So, roll to teleport, roll to aim, and then I will roll the rest.
Teleport is an 85.
Boom! Roll to aim.
Aim, the important one, is a 74. Wow, that's good.
As always, there's the disorienting flash as reality just pops away. And there's a sudden heat and smell of fume and vapor.
Mm.
You stand safely on the lip of a volcano. And there, below, is the great realm lord and demon, Kralum.
Wow.
He is the size of a football field.
Oh my God.
Heavy scorpion-like claws in the front, held with massive chains.
Mm.
Below him, of course, the magma is maybe 50 feet below him, bubbling. You've never seen it except through his eyes. And there's an immediate sense that there must be protective magic here against the heat. His spidery legs are also held by smaller manacles. And his great scorpion tail that grows from the bulbous, sort of tan and bluish white kind of streaked body. The tail is also chained, this heavy scorpion's tail.
Jesus. Harpen, thanks. Give me a virtual hug. I could use one right now.
Oh,
gosh.
Child of man, the great demon says in a voice unlike anything you have heard. It is deep and cold and unrepentingly wicked. You made it against my better judgment. We will make that woman rue the day she crossed me. The sound is everywhere and nowhere at once. Even though You can isolate no single point. You can see his great jaws moving as he speaks. I should do that.
Yeah.
As you look down upon him, I mean, he's just the largest thing you've ever seen.
Wow.
And as you study him, you can see that what you thought were sort of bristles or spikes or hairs on this huge thing, it's ice constantly forming and refreezing as he keeps himself alive.
That's crazy.
And those apparently are the bluish streaks that you're seeing. You thought were part of his skin. It's actually looking through those crystals. How do you like my cage, mortal? It must be the greatest structure ever built in your world to hold one such as I. And I would tear your world to pieces if I could, as thanks for this greatest of all of its achievements. Are you stunned at my appearance, at my grandeur, at the very fact that I would interact with you?
That's one way to put it. Stunned I'm still alive. I mean, yeah, I'm just speechless.
My home for 5 millennia. Now gather what information you can and see if you can find a keyhole, if not the key. I have not seen her for days, nor sight of bird or eagle or creature of the air of any sort. But I cannot advise dawdling.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, is there anything I need to do here? I mean, I'm just taking it in, for the moment, but I guess as soon as I recollect myself, all I need to do is teleport back.
I mean, he's suggesting you look around, obviously.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, if there's
very metaphorically, just saying. Yeah.
I mean, just to say, if you see something, because he can only see from his angle, right? He really can't see any further than the very edge of the rim, because he's pretty far down.
Yeah.
And so it's a very uneven shaped. I don't know if it's called a caldera. I forget that. Maybe after it's a lake, but it's very uneven, and then it has a narrow channel at the peak that goes off beyond him, and then it opens into a smaller opening. So it has sort of, two sort of lakes of fire. So if you want to look around, you can look around. If not, then it may be time to go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll look around a little. I'm still like terrified. Something's gonna like go wrong. I don't know. I think I'm gonna head back. I mean, maybe a potion of courage. I don't know if we want to roll for that. If I'm confident enough to like look.
Well, roll for it.
Yeah, just like how do I feel? 75. As a player, I should say I think I'm just really scared. Like for free. I think maybe Brise is like scared but is willing to do it. But I'm just.
And you really are, like, you're just enthralled with the great realm lord below. I mean, he is just enormous.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could see that he would just, he would just sweep aside trees.
Yeah.
You know, and even though he's the length of a sequoia, right? The length of a redwood, his probably with 2 snips of his claws, he could bring one of those down.
Yeah.
There's a palpable sense of him watching you, like it's almost a physical pressure.
Yeah.
I guess hence palpable. The sense of sort of menace and sort of things that you expected are less, and that may be because of his attitude towards you, and also his soul shear, the unnatural emanation of a demon. He's got to keep it tamped down.
Yeah.
Because that's just power he's wasting, staying alive against the vast burning furnace below. So I think you're okay to look around.
Okay.
You're shield out probably. I don't think you would even bother with a spear. I don't think you think it's gonna help anything here.
No, yeah. I mean, I gotta get down there, I guess.
Well, I mean, you could look around the rim.
Okay. Yeah, let me do that.
For instance. It's been somehow smoothed and leveled for walking. And I don't mean like paving stones applied. I don't mean anything like that. Roll for me.
83.
This is clearly the unnatural work of magic forming the stone by will.
Yeah.
It's smooth to the point of being attractive. It's easy to walk along, getting rough only at the edge where the natural form of the rock produces a rail against which one can lean to look down upon the prisoner.
Wow.
You sort of make your way along the rim. Huh?
So cool. It's just like epic. Yeah, literally.
And sort of the bitter voice, bitter, resentful voice of Kralum again just fills the air and says, "Are you admiring her handiwork, her attention to detail?" And then away from the lip, the space opens up, and there is a raised platform and a lectern made of natural rock formed, and then with what has to be some sort of like slab of jade as the surface of the lectern. It has runes up the support. And there 2 heavy tomes sit.
No way.
It is large enough to have one above the other. So I mean, it's bigger than a couch cushion. The surface of the lectern. So the one is open, one is closed. The one that is closed is labeled Verlag's Keep.
Okay.
And this you're sort of seeing, standing tiptoe without touching the dais, and The other one being open, you can't see its title without, of course, approaching. And you're understandably wary of that, and I'll leave that to you.
I'm not going to mess around with that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to sketch runes that you see? Do you want to leave in a pool of pee? Do you want to continue exploring? Do you want to ask Kralum any questions?
No, I think I'm ready to go back. This is like, I'm gonna feel. I do want to ask Kralum. His opinion of it. It's like, it seems that whatever defenses are here have not triggered. We should be very lucky of that. I'm hoping it'll work for others as well. If I teleport with them.
I would see no reason that it shouldn't. It's protecting this not just against the person, but against the magic that brings the people here.
Right.
So they would have to come with your casting of a spell.
Right.
Or your use of an item.
Right.
Scroll, tome. He lists off others you've never heard of. What now, Fingerling? Do you go and report to Adapir?
Yes, and we'll be back soon. Is all I can say. I was just so like caught up in it. It's just really hard for me to like. I hope I'm not like missing anything. That like I should be doing.
Right. I mean, yeah. Put yourself visually there, and think about. I mean,
well, when I do that, I just get overwhelmed. I'm like, this is such crazy. This.
Is that I hope that I could say that's a tribute to my.
No, it's so I'm still just in awe of like, I can't believe like that actually worked and I'm here, and it's wow. I guess let me just do another circle around the perimeter, just if there's any.
Oh, you haven't finished even one circle. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of feet. You've maybe walked a tenth of the way around.
How long did that take? Like just a couple minutes?
Well, you're going very slowly, right? Okay. You're just so trepidatious. I mean, you're creeping, not because of being quiet, just because it's like walking a minefield.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't, you can't bring yourself to go faster.
Right.
So
see, my concern is like spending too much time and then obviously need to come back to them back there as well, to Adby and all the others.
From your angle, you've walked maybe, like I said, maybe a tenth of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And about 1/3 of the way is where that narrow channel is.
Okay.
And you can see as you approach, there is a thin bridge that covers the channel. It's made of metal planking, and it's supported by chains, and it has chain railing.
Wow.
So she apparently sort of, this whole rim may contain information.
Yeah. So I do want to, I think I should keep walking and trying to find out what I can just at the rim. Enough time to do that. Yeah.
So you are just moving slowly. The walkway is smooth. You find there are freshly planted flowers along the walk in planters that are formed from the natural rock, again, by act of will. And they're freshly planted because you can tell that they the ground is moist.
Wow.
She's I mean, and you just feel like this is so Verilag.
Yeah.
Just the mockery of, I'm going to make this lovely for myself.
Yeah.
Sort of self-serving, self-indulgent, and at the same time taunting.
Right.
Someone who can't even see the fact that there are flowers, but she knows they're there, and that delights her.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You make it across the to the edge of the bridge. There are empty planters there, round ones instead of long square ones as the other ones are. They are dry as bone, nothing planted in them. But soon they'll probably have some fruit trees. Who knows?
Maybe she'll do some wine. Have a little cellar.
Exactly. The cellars are really tough. Attics are more likely in this environment.
Yeah.
Do you want to cross the bridge? I'm just going to sort of check with you at every sort of point of logical danger.
Let's cross the bridge. Yeah.
Roll for me.
29.
You walk across. You're like, hey, really interesting. And you look into that separate, smaller lake. Roll.
61.
Well, here's something the history books didn't mention. There are no chains there, but there's at least one slope mount for a chain built into the rock of the second lake.
Oh my gosh.
Her plan wasn't to capture just one.
Yeah. Another. Woo.
Well, what do you think about us stopping here with you on the bridge?
Yeah, I was thinking I want to get back to Adabir and the others, but if I'm going to explore the whole rim, it might take a little while. So we can save that for next time.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty fun sort of place to stop, but sort of leaves some tension.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see now. I'm like, still.
Oh no, I get it. I get it. This is, I hope this is sort of one of the types of heights of my style of game mastering.
Yeah.
So the big reveals, and it may not be flashy, and it may not be combat, but sort of the weight of things and the realization of things and that sort of thing. And so I hope that my skills carry that off.
Absolutely, and I hope the audience thinks the same.
Yeah.
Wayne must be, because he's here all the time.
He's an addict. He can't help.
Yeah.
Either that or my sexy beard he's after. We don't know.
Or my mustache.
So, well, guys, thank you so much for being with us for one of the biggest episodes ever, episode 43.
Yeah.
We actually make it to Crowlam's prison, and now...
Why aren't you rolling? I remember that.
And it tickles me that you know that story. It's so great. And you're part of our role-playing family now. But so thank you guys for all your support. Spread the word, like, subscribe, donate, of course. Let people know that big things are happening in our bigger world. And as always, we really appreciate you being here for yet another episode. As always, also go check out Max on YouTube. He's got his own channel there where he discusses the role of music and original soundtracks in video games. Thanks as always to Elliot Dunovitz for her terrific character art on Brise that we use every episode. You can find more work by her and contact her for personal projects at artstation.com/Tortolua. And I wrote a book I'm pretty proud of. If you like fantasy, I hope you find it enjoyable. But thanks as always for being here. Max, what do you want to say to these lovely people?
Oh, I want to say that thank you for an amazing 43 episodes and sticking with us the whole time. And I'm glad the tale will continue. So we shall see next week where we end up and how things move along with the story. Thanks as always for sticking around.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. We really do. Hanging out in the chat with you is always fun. And we will see you next week. I do have some health stuff going on, so we might be a little less steady than we have been. But I hope that just means occasional postponements, not cancellations. But we'll do our best to stay on top of that every week for you guys and let you know week by week if there's any changes. Go have a great evening, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.